A black woman walks into a store, finds a palm-colored woman checking out stuff. She gets her camera out and starts recording. You know why? Because you know how the story goes with art to desist. Because you never know what a palm-colored man or woman might do in the presence of a scary, dark-skinned person. Is it really racial discrimination or just something else? Maybe a fear of what the palm-colored people might do because of palm-colored privilege or entitlement. Let's talk about it. Now, this Hispanic sister, I believe, steps into the scene and says that this black woman is actually being racially discriminatory in that act, right? Because she says that black people are entitled nowadays to be racially biased towards palm colors, and nobody should hold them accountable for that. But I think she's just getting the whole concept of the video wrong. She doesn't understand exactly why this woman is doing this. She's doing this for our own safety and protection. Ever heard of the phenomenon of documentation and accountability? You document and record so that when we ask you what happened here, you show us evidence. Because if I'm a palm-colored cop and I come and find you in such a scenario, regardless of what happened, if you're dark-skinned, you're the guilty one. Let's take a look at these videos and I'll meet you at the end for a detailed discussion.
This is my part 2 of race isn't okay. I'm getting the feeling that I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying black people and saying that it's majority of black people that do this, because that's all I've seen. I've never seen a white woman go into a store and pick out the first black person that she sees and starts recording them creepily from probably 3 feet behind them, probably breathing down their neck. There's a white person in the store. No, I ain't never see that. I've never seen a white person do that shit. I've seen white people act crazy as fuck to black people, and that's valid. Record that. Make that person look dumb. That lady, this chick was minding her business. Like, and we're just gonna be okay with the racism? Like, I've noticed that it is okay when darker complexions, when black people decide that they're gonna be racist. It's just okay, right? But none of you know me, and none of you know who I am. None of you know my ethnicities. So if I would have said some out of pocket, y'all would have been coming for my head, not even knowing who the fuck I am. But I could come for this woman not knowing who she is because she just laid herself out right there. She showed her to the whole world and showed that she is a racist, ignorant, stupid person. And this is not okay. Racism me will never be okay. I grew up in a racist household, so I know what race is like firsthand. And it's not okay. I grew up loving my black people, even after I was treated shit by them. I grew up still having love in my heart for these people, for everybody. Because it's not your skin color, it's not your hair, it's not the way you dress, it's not the way you walk, it's your personality and who you are on the inside that matters to me. And that woman showed her insides like this. She just spreaded it open. Nah. If you like that, get off my page. Nasty people. Erasing. Disgusting.
But white people weren't the ones being enslaved by black, so you cannot say you can be racist to white people. This person was commenting to someone's comment on this post that I made about racism's not okay. I pinned it. It's not the first video. It's technically, yeah, it's the first video. But I've got 2 others pinned, so you're gonna have to like go through those. So I've been having a back and forth debate with this person. And if you go through whichever person they commented on and started doing this whole debate under the comment, this person needs to go back to school, or not even to school, because if you don't know, what are you doing? But the education system doesn't teach people, especially in different states. It pick and chooses. They pick and choose what they want to teach people about slavery. If you do your research, the Irish were enslaved. What's it called? Poor white people were selling their children into slavery. That was a thing. There was also rich black people back in the day. Like, y'all gotta understand, there was poor white people, there was also rich black people. Not a lot of rich black people, but there was a few families. I'm not the internet. Look it up your damn self. I'm so heated. I'm like if I were to see this person in public, I'm not even gonna go on with that, because going back to this, but there was black families back in the time of slavery that owned black people. They also owned white people. Like, do some research. Come on, kid. And you're not the only person. Oh, best behold, I have over 100K comments telling me that, oh, black people were the only ones that dealt with slavery. That's what y'all sound like to me. I woke up not too long ago and I check my TikTok every day to see what y'all ignorant people say. And a lot of y'all make comments about the video. Not about the topic, but about the video. About the lady's video that I made a comment on, that I made the video about. It's just, come on, y'all. We have the internet. It's at our disposal. As you're typing to me, you could be typing into Google. Hence why I talk about why race is not okay. Because especially with the old heads of our generation, our parents, our grandparents, a lot of you don't realize that a lot of these people carry that shit from back in the day. Because they were still growing up around that shit. People that were born the 19s, in the 2000s, come on, we weren't really dealing with that. And if we were, it was because the old heads, bro, they were doing it to us. We all gotta realize that these people that raised us, they're gonna die soon. And me, I wasn't just raised by my mother, I was raised by my grandparents. And my grandmother, a very whitewashed Mexican. My grandfather, a racist Italian German man. So, you gotta realize these people are gonna die.
Well, hello there. I wasn't even looking for this video. I was looking for something else, and I came across this video. So the gal stitched, little white gal stitched a black woman who the caption was like, I always feel weird when I see white people in hair stores, right? And she turned the camera around as a white gal over there looking at hair products. And this gal think that there's racism. And then she admits that she's seen videos of white people being racist. But then she said it's always black people who are recording and picking on white people. Girl, if you don't get your big, bold, eyebrow having ass out of here. It is weird seeing any other race but black people in hair stores. It is. Unless it's Asians, because they're working there. And 9 times out of 10, those hair stores ran by Asians are in the hood. So it's going to be weird seeing a white person in there. Going to the hair store, besides like the race you have to deal with from the Asian people, is like a sanctuary almost for black women. Like, that's how I feel. Like, when I used to, do my weaves and go in the hair store, ding, ding, there's wigs and then there's hair and you see other black people and other black women and you just like, nah, it's just a safe space. And then to see a standing right there, flat ass, stick straight hair. What the fuck are you doing in here, Amanda? All you need is a Target or Walmart aisle. That's why we have our own hair stores. Why are you here? Anyway, this video old as hell, but I didn't mean to stumble upon it. But
I know Hispanic sis said that a lot of people need education before they comment on her videos, but I think she's the one lacking some education. And I'm not meaning that in a biased or in an awkward or bad way. I'm just meaning that ideally, because look at it. She's not really aware of what happens in the black community, right? She doesn't know exactly what might happen in the presence of a palm color person. We're talking about the bear versus man phenomenon, where a palm color woman and a palm color man in a conference room scenario. Who do you pick? It's protection against misconduct. It's the same thing that happened with that palm color doctor that came out on the internet and said that he doesn't get why most of his black patients are always out on the phone with somebody on the phone, right, on the other side while attending to his services. It's because they never really know what might happen. Anything can go wrong with a palm color doctor or a palm color person in your presence. So sometimes black individuals might record interactions on advice of legal or professional advisors, right? Especially in situations where they feel vulnerable or at risk. So that's exactly what we're seeing happening in that video, and sometimes it's for personal security. In some cases, recording interactions can be a way to feel more secure and in control of the situation, knowing that there's a record of the interaction. Sincerely speaking, this Hispanic sister is not aware of that. Now, what about the issue of slavery? Were only black people involved in slavery, or is she right in saying that even different people were involved in slavery? While the transatlantic slave trade primarily involved the enslavement of Africans, other forms of slavery existed in different parts of the world. For example, we're talking about ancient civilizations such as in Greece and in Rome. Slaves were often prisoners of war, debtors, or born into slavery. These slaves could be of various ethnic backgrounds. How about when it comes to the Middle Ages? In medieval Europe, slavery and serfdom were common, with many slaves being European descent. So there is that scenario, but it's not primarily based on the concept of you trying to revolutionize or industrialize somebody's society, such as the palm colors did to black individuals. Let's go to the Islamic world. Slavery was also practiced in the Islamic world, where both Africans and Europeans, such as slaves, were enslaved and traded. The other one is indigenous people in the Americas. Before European colonization, some indigenous groups did practice forms of slavery. But like I said, it's not about you looking down on these people like Christopher Columbus did. He looked down on the indigenous people and felt that he was more dominant because of his color to them. It's a form of slavery that was happening peacefully, something that the society did accept. Because if you commit a crime, you find yourself in such a situation. And the other one is Asia. In Asia, various forms of slavery existed, including in China and in India, where people could be enslaved due to debt, war, or as punishment for crimes. It's the same thing, right? But palm coloreds didn't go to Africa or didn't conquer indigenous people because they owed something to them. No, they just did so based on race and hatred. There isn't much documented evidence specifically about palm color people selling their own offspring during slavery due to poverty. However, the broader context of slavery and economic hardship did lead to various forms of exploitation and family separation. So I don't know how our Hispanic sister got that information, but in the United States, slavery was primarily an institution that involved the enslavement of African Americans. Palm color families, particularly in the South, often owned enslaved people and profited from their labor, right? So there were, like she said, maybe some black people that were in good conditions, but I don't think they owned slaves because they pretty much wanted it abolished at that time. There were instances where palm color slave owners would sell enslaved individuals, black people, right, including their offspring, to other plantations, often separating families in the process. The economic pressures and the legal framework of slavery allowed for the commodification of human beings, but this primarily affected enslaved African Americans rather than the palm color population. Now, this could just be me, but I feel like Hispanic sis is just upset about something because she did mention in that video that she's dealt with this art of the cyst in one way or another, right? It's that phenomenon of the good old angel rebelling against God because he feels that God shouldn't be able to do certain things or depict narratives in the society. So I think she's just upset that the narrative is always that palm coloreds are the ones that are hard to assist to black people, and it's not the other way around, right? Because she is trying to justify that black people can also pretty much be hard to assist to palm coloreds. So palm color families, even those in economic distress, typically did not sell their offspring into slavery. Instead, they might have sold or mortgaged their property, including enslaved people, to manage financial difficulties. So that's the information that I was able to source for you involving today's discussion. But if you do come across any documentation that suggests that palm coloreds, because of poverty, we are selling off their offspring, right, so that they can live lavishly, do provide that insightful perspective in the comment section. With that being said, I will see you in the next video. Please share, like, and subscribe.